Hey, shalom, shalom, akiyam. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash. I would also like to give a double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, where I learned this 144% truth. I would also like to say peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, starting with the 144,000 men of Israel, which consists of the servants, the prophets, whom have been ordained since the foundations of this earth to sing this new song, which comes in the form of this gospel, which would be preached throughout all four corners of this earth and rest upon the ears of the innumerable multitude, men, women, and children of Israel, who may be scattered throughout all four corners of this earth. Hey, shalom, beloved Akiyam and Akwath. Hey, I'm Bayan back again through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. You know, and as you can see by the title, this Idumean, all right, is on his way out. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. And as you can see, the times we're living in is full of chaos, wickedness, violence, right? And this is the way the story goes for Esau. You know, as he plummets into perdition. You see, and it's beautiful because we're living in the time to witness it. You know, the time couldn't be more perfect. You know, as we're witnessing as of next year, they're going to be celebrating the 250th year of Babylon the Great's inception. And as we know, the average lifespan of major empires is about 250 years. You can chat GPT it. You know, chat GPT is the way to go nowadays. Yeah. But needless to say, yeah, man. Undenounced to evil E. You know, those of you that are trusting and hoping in him. All right, hey, this man's time is up, man. This man's time is up. What do you think it means when you read Revelations, the 20th chapter? You know, tapping into you know, that little season. You know, that this man will be or what have you. I'm actually gonna go there first. Revelations 20. Hold on for 1 second. I had Job on the mind, Job 20. But let's go ahead. Let's start right here. The book of Revelations, chapter 20. And verse 3 is the point. But we're going to start from verse 1. And it reads, "And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key, okay, of the bottomless pit." And we believe this angel is Yahweh Shai. You know, because when you read Revelations, the first chapter, right around the 18th verse, matter of fact, let me just go get that real quick. If I'm not mistaken, it's around the 18th verse. Yahweh Shai himself says this. Here we go. Yep, the book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 18, real quick. And it reads red letter, right? Yahweh Shai speaking. "I am he that liveth and was dead, and behold, I am alive forevermore. Amen. And have the keys of hell and okay. But these other cats are as far as the hell doctrine, you go into hell and burn hell. Listen, man, this hell is talking to a condition. Hell means one of two things, okay? Either a condition, all right, which revolves around you being in captivity, right? Or the grave. It's that simple. You see, a hellish condition, or you being in the grave, under the ground. You see? And when you're in your basement, theoretically, you're in hell, right? Because you're under the ground, right? But these men that claim to be men of the Lord and having this divine wisdom seem not to be able to understand that. But anyways, so when we go back to Revelations, the 20th chapter, reading verse 1 again, "And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit," okay? And what you're going to find out is that that bottomless pit is actually talking to Europe. All right, because this is where Esau was looking finished at. All right, wearing clothes until they pretty much evaporated off of his limbs. All right, Esau has the history of a true barbarian. All right, he's that caveman, you know, that he doesn't like to tap into. He wants to limit the history on that because he's him. But check this out, and the great chain in his hand, right? So when you bound something with a chain, right? So what happened? Look it, and he laid a hold on the dragon. Bear with me. Tight little street here. Let's play wisdom on him on this one. Bear with me. All right, and he laid hold on the dragon. All right, and this is talking to the Roman Empire, right, via Esau, Edom, right, the so-called white man, right? That old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, you see, and look, and bound him 1,000 years, man. All right, this is talking to the fall of the Western Roman Empire. All right, they were through for 1,000 years, roughly between, you know, call it 400 AD to about the 1300s. You know, give or take 350 AD, 400 AD to about the 1300s, into the time of antiquity. All right, the Renaissance, which goes into rebirth. Okay, that's when Esau, you know, brought that, you know, brought the spirit of the Western Roman Empire back to life, right, through Babylon the Great, aka America. Right? Let's see here. Continue on here. Here we go, going into the point. Right, and cast him into the bottomless pit. Again, this is when Esau was through over there in Europe for that 1,000 years span. That dark cloud was over his head. You know, he was pretty much the raccoon of the neighborhood. You know, right? And cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up and set a seal upon him that he should deceive the nations no more. Okay. This man operates under the guise of deception via witchcraft. He's always done it. You can read Isaiah 47. That serpent, right? That was in the garden. All right, that malicious wizard, okay, which was in the form of a nation. All right, that same spirit manifested in Cain, right? Cain being the first murderer documented, hit with the mark, which was that curse of leprosy, and it was brought forth through Esau. You know, he came out red all over. That same spirit's in them. You see, that's why when we read verse 2, it said that old serpent. Okay, because that same spirit is dwelling within them. Yeah, there's a such thing as reincarnation in the Bible. Okay, after 3 to 4 generations, you come back. It's written. You know, it only makes sense. And we're all ancient spirits. You see? Let's continue on. I'm gonna read that from the top because I lost my spot. Right, Revelations 20:3, and cast him into the bottomless pit, which is Europe, and shut him up and set a seal upon him. You see, so he was lock, stock, and barrel. There was nothing he could do to get out of the situation he was in, just like we couldn't up until the time of the Holy Spirit coming during the time of Abba Bivens. Prior to that, we were walking like blind men. Hey, but now we see, right? Continuing on, that he should deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little season. And that's what we're honing in on. Salakia, little hill there. And that's what we're honing in on that little season. Right? This phone might fall again, but it's all good. All right, now what I want to do is I want to go to the blue letter real quick. I can stop right here real quick. And what I want to get season.
Strong's G5550. Chronos.
All right, that's season in the Greek. And what's it going to? It goes into a time either long or short. Okay, and it tells you in that precept, obviously it's a little season, and various other parts of the scriptures. You see, I mentioned earlier that Job had came to mind, that Job 20, which we're going to grab that. Before we do, what did Yahweh Shai say though? When you read, let me see here. When you read the book of Luke, right, chapter 10 and verse 18, right? Yahweh Shai said this, right? And he said unto them, which he was talking to the 70 that he had sent out, and they see miracles happen when they were preaching in his name. They were able to cast out demons. Check this out. Here's what he said. Here's what Yahweh Shai said. I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven, man. You see, Satan talking to who? Evil E. You see, starting with that global elite. What's that, Isaiah? Let me get this real quick. The book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 12, and it reads, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? Okay, son of the morning. Now you have these wacky-tacky 501c3 tax charter, Jesuit form of a doctrine, so-called Christians, okay, that stand on this talking about that war in heaven, okay, and that Satan and his angels were kicked out of heaven because they were trying to wage war, okay, on the Most High. That's the most craziest story you can ever come across, man. Because here it is, Satan is the son of the Lord, Yahweh. He created him. How's something you created gonna wage war against you when you have supreme power over it? Let's make this make sense. All right, what this is talking to are the light bearers, man. All right, the illuminated ones. All right, the global elite. This is who this is talking. Lucifer is written only one time in the Bible. This is the only precept you can find with Lucifer. Okay? Because that's what it's talking to. It's talking to this Edomite regime in the form of these 13 elite families, man. All right, and hey, as they say in the world, shit rolls downhill, man. So once the Lord takes them niggas out, everything else is gonna crumble. You cut the head off a snake, the body's gonna die. Okay, so this is what this is talking to. All right, let's read it again from the top. The book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 12, and it reads, how art thou fallen from heaven? Right, and now heaven is talking to what? Their rulership. There's 3 levels of heaven, man. All right, this is something you gotta understand for those of you, that don't. You new listeners that are coming in. All right, you have heaven as far as heaven on earth. If you're in your heaven on earth, guess what? You're sovereign. You're in a position of power. You're calling the shots. You're running the show. Okay? This is the position that Esau's in right now. Job 9 and 24. Okay? Second heaven will be where the constellations are, where the birds fly, the heavens, man, the sky, or what have you, right? Where the stars reside, right? And beyond that, right, which would be the third heaven, would be the 4th dimension, man. All right, where our Heavenly Father and the angels are. Okay? Where every spirit goes back to. Okay? When you leave this body. Alright? So with that being said, let's read this again. Right? Isaiah 14 and 12. How art thou fallen from heaven? How are you elite fallen from your hardy position? How have you fallen from your throne? Right? O Lucifer, son of the morning, how art thou cut down to the ground? Right? Isaiah 40, Isaiah 47, right? Excuse me. Which did is weaken the nations, man. And they weaken the nations in many ways, shapes, forms, and fashions, man. All right, via their philosophies. All right, hey, their economic hitmen. All right, hey, you don't comply, you die. That's how Esau rolled, man, because he's had the power to do so. Remember, he was given a great sword, man. All right, and he doesn't bear it in vain, pursuing the Romans, the 13th chapter. Right, but now we're in a time, all right, where this Idumean is on his way out. All right, that 250-year lifespan of Babylon the Great, aka America, it marks the end, okay, of this Edomite hegemony. All right, contrary to popular belief. And hey, for those of you out there, the masses that believe that this place is going to continue to prosper, and that there's no end to this place, guess what? Hey, somebody got to get rolled up on like a thief in the night. You know, the Lord Yahweh Shai got to roll up on somebody. Somebody got to play that role in the movie where they get rolled up on, they get caught slipping. You see? The Lord said himself, he's going to come like a thief in the night, man. Somebody got to be sleeping when he comes. You know, so it all makes sense why you people are stuck under the illusion of this madhouse being able to continue forever, man. And us so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans continuing to be under the feet of our oppressor. You must be crazy, man. This is not going to continue. And Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, the Idumean, is on his way out. And the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans, starting with the elect, is on their way in. Okay? Esau is the end of the world, man. All right? And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, man. This nigga was going to win. He was going to be able to win for only so long. Okay? As Job mentions, Job, I was going to grab that. I was going to grab Job off the rip. But the Spirit does what it do. Let's close out with this if the Spirit allows. I'm almost to my destination. The book of Job, chapter 20. Khan. In verse 5, we'll start at verse 4. And it reads, Knowest thou not this of old? Since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Okay, see, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man's span of rulership, it was actually it was a faster 250-year process, being that during this eon, pursuant to Matthew 24, the days will be shortened for the elect's sake. So the Lord did Esau filthy. You know? The Lord did Esau filthy, man. Look, though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? You know, because there's going to come a time where this man is literally eviscerated off the planet Earth, pursuing the Obadiah 1 and 18. Hey, it's written. You know, you can scratch and claw and try to create a different breakdown of what that's saying. But inevitably, you're going to find yourself with your back against the wall, because there's many other precepts to back that up. Okay, even, what's his name? Ba'alam. seen the vision of Amalek and the end of him. You see, even when you go into I think it's Numbers or Deuteronomy, one of the two, where the Lord tells us through Moses to remember Amalek. And ultimately the end of that conversation is that he's going to be destroyed when we come into our rest. So see, so the reality is this, man. This Idumean, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, is on his way out. Hey, stay prayed up, beloved Akim and Aqua, fast as well as pray. And we getting close. As you can see, Esau's throwing a lot of confusion out there. He's throwing a lot of chaos and just a bunch of confusion is being thrown out there into the mist. You know? So stay locked in, stay tapped in through the spirit. Stay spiritually tapped in. You know? So, see things, see it through the spirit, you know, not through the flesh. More flesh, less spirit. You know, like the beloved elder out of Texas says. You know, my fellow Gadite brother. Hey, I'm gonna leave you with that, beloved Akiam and Aqua. Hey, Lord willing, you Akiam and Aqua will edify. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash. Hey, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, where I learned this 144% truth. Hey, Shalom, beloved Akiam and Aqua. Shalom. Have a blessed day.